Yeah, this is an old one. A very old one. But I believe it's the most canon Kaisa lore outside of like her cinematic appearances in the other videos, the other cinematics so far. So yeah, let's just do that.
Hello everyone and welcome.
Same as the Malzahar.
One of the most influential stories in Runeterra's history.
Yeah.
A story about the fall of Icathia. That story finally revealed what the Void is about and how it behaves. Now we can go even deeper into what the Void really is, as we dive into the story of Kaisa, daughter of the Void. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about the fearless hunter of the Void known as Kaisa is how unremarkable her life began.
Yep.
She did not descend from tribal warriors hardened by generations of battle, nor was she summoned from distant lands to fight the unknowable.
She was just a daughter.
Rather, she was just an ordinary girl, born to loving parents who called
Acceptance at long last. Mauricio Ferraz, thank you very much for the sub.
the unforgiving southern deserts their home. This was where she would spend her days playing with friends, and at nights dreaming about her place in the world. In her 10th summer, the young girl Kaisa's destiny would be changed forever. Had she been older, she might have noticed more of the unusual events that had begun to unfold in the village. Every day, her mother urged her to stay home, for fear of strangers wandering the land, demanding tribute to dark powers below. Kaisa and her friends did not believe it, until one evening they came upon a pen of sacrificial goats brought from nomad herdsmen. Using the knife her father had given her on her 8th birthday, she cut their tethers and set the animals free into a nearby canyon. It seemed like a harmless prank until the unthinkable happened. The ground began to quake, flashes of light scorching the sky, and the children ran for their lives. The Void had been awakened. A great rift split the bedrock, swallowing up Kaisa's village and everyone in it, leaving nothing behind but sand, people.
Who that? Who that, motherfuckers? Who is that? Why does he not mention it though?
Pierced with twisted columns as black as night. Kaisa regained consciousness to find herself trapped underground. She was filled with crippling fear, but there was still hope. She could hear the faint cries of other survivors. They called out to each other feebly, repeating their names one by one like a mantra. Sadly, by the 3rd day, hers was the only voice left. Her friends and family were all gone. She was alone in the darkness. It was only when all seemed lost that she saw the light. She followed it down. Along the way, she found meager sustenance. Amid the debris left by the collapse were ragged waterskins, rotting peaches, anything to keep starvation at bay. But eventually, Kaisa's hunger was replaced by fear once again. She found herself in a vast cavern, illuminated by an otherworldly purplish glow, and she could see she was no longer alone. Skittering creatures swarmed in the depths. The first that came for Kaisa was no bigger than her, and she clutched her knife in both hands, red.
In this video, he says that her family and friends were lost, right? But it's like, why is there no mention of Kassadin in this whole thing? It's like, are they straight up trying to hide the fact that she's Kassadin's daughter? Did they just retcon Kassadin's story, losing his daughter in a Shuriman, like when the Void opened and swallowed his, killed his wife and swallowed his daughter? Which was the original Kassadin story.
Ready to defend herself. The Voidling horror knocked her to the ground, but she drove the blade into its pulsing heart, and the two of them tumbled deep into the abyss. The creature was seemingly dead, but its unnatural skin had taken upon the flesh of her arm. The dark shell tingled but was hard as steel to the touch. In a panic, Kaisa broke her knife trying to remove it, but when the larger beasts came, she used it as a shield to make her escape. Soon enough, she realized the shell was becoming part of her. As her daily struggle to survive drew out into years, this second skin grew with her, and so too did her resolve. Now she had more than hope. She had a plan. Fight hard, stay alive, find a way back. She was transformed from a frightened girl to a fearless survivor, from prey to predator. For almost a decade, she has lived between two worlds in an attempt to keep them apart. The void hungers to consume not only the
The
scared
void hungers.
but the whole
Who says that?
Terra. She will not allow that to happen. Though she has slain countless void constructs, she understands that many of the people she protects would see her as a monster herself. Indeed, her name has begun to pass into legend, an echo of ancient horrors of doomed Ikathia. No longer Kaisa, but Kaisa.
What's the difference? What is the difference?
Listen to me. I tell the little girl who found me here, besides the pit. I need you to hear me, there isn't much time. She leans forward without a hint of fear in her eyes. Tell me what to do. I like her. A slight smile breaks across my face. For the first time in what seems like forever. Not this, I say, gesturing to the arrow gripped in her hand. She holds it like a spear. I was only a child when the void took me from my family, so I didn't know any better either. But the rest of them, they were so careless. Sacrifices, offerings, tributes, whatever you want to call them, they were never going to work. It isn't some god, appeased by gifts and prayers. It just wants to devour everything. You want to kill it? You want to destroy it? I ask her. She nods. Then starve it. The sensation of needles on my flesh grows stronger, as if in response to these words. The threatening presence is closing in around us, and my second skin constricts, pulling taut as a bow. I take one last deep breath before they come. The sand begins to shift, puckering and falling away like in an hourglass. Eerie pulses of light filter into the sky, as the construct creatures heave themselves up into the Shuriman night, screeching and drooling. I steady myself, charging the energy inside my shoulder pods. I grit my teeth and release it. Bright blooms of heat and pain find their targets quickly, raining down, stopping the creatures in their tracks, flinging them aside. The air is filled with an acid reek and the hiss of melting chitin. Soon, there is nothing left of them. I wait for the needle's itch to stop, but it doesn't. The girl is crouched beside me, ready. She probably cannot understand what she is seeing. Does it hurt? She whispers, her hand reaching out for the glowing scales on my arm. I pull back reflexively. She doesn't even flinch. Sometimes, I confess. Not too far away, her village sleeps on unaware, for the most part. Curiosity has no doubt gotten the better of this little girl. So many stories. Fables both frightening and fantastical. The voidling beasts hunting in the dead of night, calling to one another. She just wanted to see for herself. See what lurks beyond the rocks. See the thing her people both fear and adore at the same time. My skin tightens again. The needles. The constant itch. I blink. I'm sorry, you didn't tell me your name. She stands up proudly, still brandishing the arrow. I'm Illy. I came to protect my family from the monsters.
Illidan?
No more.
Bro, Illidan is in the game.
Well, Illy, sometimes running is the best.
Illy sometimes.
But you don't run, she says, narrowing her eyes. Do you? A clever one, this girl. I shake my head. Not anymore. Then I won't either, Illy proclaims, brave as well. She has no idea what they are dealing with. None of them do. All these things her people have done to rid themselves of the creatures.
Okay.
They were just ringing the dinner bell. You need to make them understand. No more dancing beneath the new moon, and no more animals tied to stakes. The void has no mercy to offer. It feeds or it dies. The day I came to understand this was when I knew I had a chance. Maybe that's why I survive, while so many others perish. But survival always has its price. Ever since I found my way back, I've been paying it. Look, the girl whispers. They are coming to find us. I don't have to look. I knew they would come. By instinct, the carapace draws over my face. Illy stares up at me. Don't be frightened. I say to her in a voice that's so twisted and monstrous, it could have the opposite meaning. Of what? She asks. I found myself wearing a smile she cannot see. There are only a handful of people who's ever seen me in the flesh, or whatever it is that now covers my body. All but 2 of them are dead. Illy's people appear to be capable hunters. Only the capable live out here. I can see where she got her bravery. Their torches twinkle in the night. Papa! She calls out to the searching villagers without warning me. I found her, the girl who came back. They are heading towards us now, weapons at the ready, fire in their eyes. Illy! Her father yells, knocking an arrow to his bow. Get away from that thing! She looks up at me again, confused. For every little girl like Illy, there are 10 others who would run the other way.
Yeah.
Worse, I know what most people say about me. I've seen their fear scrawled across the mud walls, scratched into the canyon rocks. Beware the girl who came back a monster. They don't know a thing about me. I'm just something they do not want to face. A living, walking, frightening embodiment of what they fear the most. I guess that's why they added the mark to my name. 10 years ago, I was only Kaisa, very much like Illy, hopeful about the future as limitless as the stars in the night sky. That future died the day the void dragged me down. The needles are back. Illy releases my hand just as my luminous weapons materialize over my arms. Go to him. I tell her. Go to your father. Illy, run! Her father pleads. He draws back the bowstring with trembling hands. No! She yells, turning to me. I don't run anymore. I usher her forwards, keeping my eyes trained on the villagers. No, Illy. You are born a fighter. They will need you. After a few steps, she turns back. What do I tell them? Tell them to be ready. The void has taken so much from me, but I refuse to let it take everything. These moments, where kindness and humility shine through, where innocence and trust extinguish fear, they fill me with hope that we can defeat the rivers of timeless poison that flow beneath the world. The first time I escaped the abyss, I did it for myself. Maybe one day, it will be for them. And that was the story of Kaisa. There will be more, and there
will be more, but
is more up on the universe. But it is in the form of an ongoing comic. Since that story will eventually continue, let's wait till it reveals more of the main plotline.
Did Riot confirm Kaisa is Kassadin's daughter? Well, now we've all been introduced to League's newest champion, Kaisa. Thanks to her interaction on the PB, we can now confirm that she's the long-lost daughter of Kassadin. What's the interaction? Kaisa confirms Kassadin's daughter in League of Legends. Yeah. Oh, the interaction. With Kassadin? Wait.
An ally has been slain.
On my watch. Set the story straight. And step back, Red.
Where's the Kassadin one though? It's towards the end, maybe?
My home, Void Spawn. You must be lost, creature. Not here, friend.
Oh, there it is.
Reunions can be so
First spawn with enemy Kassadin.
bittersweet.
Oh.
Could it be true? It smells like home here. Father? Have we met? You seem familiar. Something is off here. Don't be long. We're stronger together.
Is there a ally though? Is there an ally Kassadin? No, only enemy, right?
Don't worry. I will fight alone. I've done it before. You can't outrun the void. It's only half a plan. Some call me monster. They have no idea.
Well, I guess the interaction at least confirms it though, because I remember like when she just came out, everyone knew. Let's be real. Kenzo said that he's familiar, and then most obviously when she responds will remark father. In the updated lore, Kassadin's daughter was lost in the void, but we have yet to figure out why. In the past it was because of Malzahar. While it's no longer explicitly stated, that seems that Kesa is tied to Malzahar. Upon killing an enemy, Malzahar, Kesa states, I forgive you, Malzahar, but I never forget. Let's can only hope that this lore will be clarified and expanded upon in the future, plus there is now the potential for some Kassadin, Kesa, father-daughter skins. Bro, that would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. I don't know why I like that part so much. Like, I'm getting like all emotional. But yeah, man, they need to make more Kassadin story. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna check something real quick. I'm gonna let's do it like this. Necrit cast. Let's see if Necrit covers Kassadin in the last. Probably avoid Kassadin Malzahar lore. This is 4 years ago. Kaisa was when? When's Necrit Kaisa? The girl came back. Okay, so I believe he just covers the Kaisa's daughter confirmed. Whole new world up on PB merch. Rift news, Battle Bunnies, new Kassadin, more. Rift news, the girl came back. Lore of Legend, Kassadin the Void Walker. Oh. What's this?
Bel'Veth proved herself to be a valuable asset to the world of League of Legends. Her lore took me by surprise, and now I can say, I really like it. If only I could see more of it past the thighs. Anyway, because Bel'Veth explains quite a fundamental part of Runeterra, that being the Void, even her voice lines get really interesting. Especially since they give relevance to some champions who really need it.
Yes.
Without further ado, let's have a look at the
Let's see.
voice lines of Bel'Veth.
Only existence can sate your hunger, Cho'Gath.
And the first one who deserves attention is Cho'Gath. For those of you who don't know, Cho'Gath currently has no canon lore.
Yeah.
We genuinely have no idea where he is or what he's doing. But now, Bel'Veth confirmed his existence. So technically, Cho'Gath is canon again. Suck it up, Shaco. And the only thing she remembers is that Cho'Gath hungers. The original concept was that Cho'Gath was supposed to be eating worlds, but that would make him as powerful as the Watchers. So I don't think.
Yeah, probably not. No.
But at least it's.
I think what it means to like what it was supposed to mean, that Cho'Gath can get to a point where he eats worlds if he's not stopped, right? Like he would just keep eating, getting bigger to the point where he's big enough to just eat the world.
That Cho'Gath is somewhere eating something.
Yeah.
You disappoint me, Kaisa. The Watchers are the true threat.
Then she has a voice line with Kaisa. If you have seen the last video where we talked about Bel'Veth's lore, you know that she's trying to get Kaisa on her side to fight the Watchers. However, to fight the Watchers, she needs to destroy reality. It's complicated, alright.
Yeah.
That's what the voice line is referring to.
Kassadin, the void you knew is gone. Your war cannot be won.
Then she has a voice line with Kassadin. In her story, she confirmed that Kassadin did indeed face Bel'Veth's void. Remember, Bel'Veth's void is a bit different from the normal void. While the Watchers and the normal void are trying to destroy all reality, Bel'Veth is trying to consume it and essentially merge reality and the void. It also confirmed that Kassadin is going a bit crazy. And so with this voice line, she's essentially telling Kassadin that he's not fighting the void of the Watchers. He's fighting Bel'Veth now.
Yes, Kha'Zix, you have tasted the world and crave more.
Of course, Kha'Zix started as a small pup, then he started consuming creatures and grew a bit bigger. He's technically not on Bel'Veth.
So Bel'Veth changed how the void works. Instead of just simply consuming, now she wants merging. How do merging accomplish though? What's the difference in merging and consuming? When you consume, technically what you consume becomes a part of you, right? Well, unless you poop it out, but like essentially, right? It's like the nutrients you eat usually are used to enhance your body, right? So therefore, that's that's merging as well, I guess. Like it's confusing to say the least. Yeah.
Kog'Maw, so small and yet so much potential.
Just like Cho'Gath, Kog'Maw also had no lore.
Yeah.
So once again, it is amazing to see that Kog'Maw is canon too. Suck it up, Shaco.
Fight the Watchers alone, Lysandra.
And then, of course, we know that Lysandra is holding back the Watchers in the north.
Yeah.
Technically, Lysandra is Bel'Veth's ally. They are both the world's salvation against the Watchers.
But also,
However, Bel'Veth is trying to destroy them through really awful means.
yeah.
Witness me, my prophet.
Malzahar.
Yes, Malzahar is the prophet who sacrificed an entire 10th town in the glory of his empress. The cool twist is, the entire time Malzahar wasn't serving the Watchers, he was serving Bel'Veth.
Queen of the Xersai, you of all things, resist the change.
Even though Rek'Sai wasn't really mentioned in Bel'Veth's story.
As-
the story with Talia and Kaisa,
Oh, okay.
we know that Rek'Sai is Bel'Veth's enemy. Even though she's also in Shurima, Rek'Sai is not giving whatever she consumes to Bel'Veth.
Vel'Koz, your Watchers cannot unmake me so easily.
When it comes to Vel'Koz, remember that he is one of the oldest Voidborn in existence. When the Watchers first erupted on Runeterra, Vel'Koz was one of the first scouts that was led out. So he is definitely against Bel'Veth.
Such intense emotions, Ruined King. A meal to match my hungers.
There will be more voice lines with Viego, but I'm gonna assume this one is here because the lore was written by the same person.
You are new to me, child of the
Void champion?
void. Show me what it
As
is.
Void champion.
Even though this seems to be a totally random quote,
Yeah.
whenever she meets a Voidborn, she needs to know
Oh,
if they just
okay.
destroy the matter they consume, or if they can pass it to Bel'Veth so that she can create her own world.
You become greedy, Cho'Gath. Vicious, wanting.
Once again, Cho'Gath likes to eat.
Okay.
You resist me, Kaisa, yet I am your salvation.
This is a reference quote from the story where the two met. There, Bel'Veth
Okay.
told Kaisa that she is the only salvation against the Watchers.
As stubborn and brave as your daughter. And now, so am I.
Stubborn is brave as your daughter, and now so am I.
This is an interesting quote, because this may be referencing the fact that Bel'Veth is adapting human emotions. After all, that's what Bel'Veth does. She is consuming reality so that she can become reality. That comes with emotions
Okay.
and all.
Not confusing at all, let's be real here.
Continue your evolution, Kha'Zix. Devour everything.
And here you can see that she would like Kha'Zix to be on her side. I guess that would be because if Kha'Zix consumes stuff, she can then consume Kha'Zix and get all the material.
Your true self awaits, mouth of the abyss.
This is also an interesting quote, because she may be teasing the fact that Kog'Maw is just a tiny Voidborn that grows into something much bigger. It seems like one day, Kog'Maw will transform.
Consider an alliance, Lysandra. Consider it carefully.
So they're not
The two are
allies yet, right? They have the same goal, but they're not kinda.
fighting the Watchers.
A beast of motherly instinct. The Watchers did not anticipate
Oh, this is like when they're enemies. Okay.
this.
Once again, yet another interesting quote. This one might be teasing the fact that when Rek'Sai was spawned, she was meant to go around and consume everything, but as she adapted to reality, she also inherited her motherly instinct. And so now, even though the Voidborn are supposed to be emotionless machines, maybe Rek'Sai cares about her brood. And she doesn't want to obliterate everything because she wants to exist with her children. This would definitely be something the Watchers would not anticipate.
Every moment of your life now belongs to me, Stoneweaver.
Yeah.
And yes, this is also a reference to Talia's recent story. The story where the Void started eating Talia's people. It turns out that Void was Bel'Veth.
They would erase even her memory, Ruined King. You can still save her.
Oh.
Once again, the voice lines for both of these champions are written by the same person, that's what this really is. But also, even though there is probably no way to bring back Isolde, because Isolde was essentially vaporized by the Absolver, she technically still exists in reality in the form of memories.
And so if Bel'Veth becomes reality, she can recreate her?
So Bel'Veth is telling Viego that he can still keep her in reality if he fights the Watchers. Theoretically, there's also the fact that if Bel'Veth consumes the information about Isolde, she can just remake her using void flesh. It sounds horrifying, but Viego has been into worse stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening with the poultry, but at least she might be confirming that Nashor is actually a Voidborn. So I still have no idea what the heck Aurelian is doing with that.
Yeah, I thought Baron is like a manifestation of whatever this is.
Existence was our cocoon. It has
First move.
evolved into something more.
This is essentially the core of her lore. For millennia, the Void was just the Void, but when reality came into existence, the Void started morphing against its own will.
All your lives you have chased your own destruction. At long last, I am here.
This is a cool quote because she's referencing the fact that people have been summoning the Void for quite a while, and this is the result.
Life has infected my kind with the desire to exist. We crave only what was forced upon us.
Again, at the beginning of time, the Void was just the Void. It was reality with its emotions and stuff that started corrupting the Void. Yep, we are the baddies.
When the Void first touched existence, both were changed forever.
Yet another quote about Bel'Veth being the merging of reality and the Void.
It's such a complicated character to even come up with as One second.
You tore us from our formless cradle and cast us into the horror.
Jesus Christ. Assalamu alaikum.
This is the same quote, but way creepier.
We have always watched.
Get it?
Undisturbed, the Void wanted nothing. Now we simply want. The Void cannot go back to what it was.
And then there are a bunch of these quotes that all essentially say the same thing. Everything was peaceful before we arrived.
Drown in me.
And that one was just for you. But that is it for her voice lines. I really like how the voice lines do exactly what her bio does.
Yeah.
It simply explains things. And it is just done so well. At the beginning, I was skeptical about the champion. It all seemed a bit off and I wasn't sure what...
Yeah, it's very confusing, to be honest.
Or going through all the cinematics and talking about the voice lines, I can easily say I really like this champion. And she would have been perfect. But there may be just one more thing we could talk about. Those damn thighs.
Let's not. Let's not talk about them damn thighs. Oh my god. Alright, well, that's the video. Yeah. Is what is Kasa, Bel'Veth, and some Kassadin. Anyways, let's go next.